here's a guy.
Emilio, tell me what you see here with Christian Watson's Instagram post. Let's actually just take it on out here. I put a tweet out and just said, Christian Watson looking way ahead of schedule. Someone check on the quote. He's not even running routes yet, crowd. They are not well today. As you can see, look at my boy out here. A little out and up, right? Just a little out and up. Listen, there's no sharp cuts, but my man's going about, to me, it looks like he's going about 70% there, right? And starting to cut on it now. We've seen him at practice a little bit, over there with medicine ball, throwing that thing around and doing some other leg exercises. I just want to get your all's take on it, man. To me, this looks – we didn't see Gary doing this stuff, right? Now, granted, if I remember correctly, when Rashawn Gary came back from his ACL, it was kind of – everything was in the background in the offseason, and then all of a sudden – they go to training camp and he's out there kind of doing stuff, right?
Didn't he have a couple of workout videos that he did, where he was pushing sleds and stuff like that after it?
He may have. I may just not remember it.
But no, but you're not seeing the long kind of stretch runs, right? It's right. I'm happy. One, I'm happy he doesn't have a brace on. I feel like that's a huge mental hurdle that he's gotten over. And two, just being able to, all right, I'm going out there and I'm running, I'm strapping up cleats, and you have to put blinders on, take your head out of it. All right, I'm just going to run routes like I did when I was 7. If it tears again, whatever. I can't play scared the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I agree. Think of what it takes to get to the point where they're letting you play without the brace, or they're letting you get to that level in your rehab where you're able to cut like this and run routes. Again, we get all excited, right? He's got no shirt on, running around in his silkies, catching a ball, no coverage. But hey, I mean, this looks really promising, right, guys? I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but
I do.
Maybe Scoop comes back after the bye week 6.
Whoa.
Hold on. You heard it. You heard it from a fan right here.
I'll tell you, man, there's a lot of people that pointed that out on X earlier when I tweeted this out. They were like, hey, look, first 5 weeks of the season, let him sit it out, start on PUP, activate him for week 6, get him out there for a few reps, I could see it, man. I really could. And if that's the case, then that would put him at what? Let's see, if the season starts first week of September, we're looking at mid-October, right? So you're talking about if he stays healthy the rest of the way, playing 10 games. Guys, that's huge. I was expecting 4 games, And
like you said, keyword activated, right, Clayton? Right. You make him active. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start and, take, 40 snaps right away. You're going to work him back into that lineup a little bit, which would be a good sign to see coming out of that bye week, right?
Right. You got 3 weeks, right? Once you.
Yeah, as Coach Lynn says here, maybe the tear was not as bad as we previously thought. And that's the thing, none of us know that, right, Coach? They're quiet on that stuff, and rightfully so. They're not going to come out and just spill all the beans. Here's everything that was wrong with it, kind of keep that close to the vest, that type of thing. But
right. Maybe nothing happened to the meniscus there. The PCL was good, the MCL was good. Maybe it was just a straight ACL tear, and you're new patella, cut that graft, attach it, and you're good to go. But yeah, no, It is nice to see him moving around. Obviously, it's early. Obviously, that, like Tim was saying, nobody's there. I thought it was 2 lacrosse creases for a second. I'm like, what is he doing? But no, just get through the dummies there and run your route. And I think that I'm happy that he's out there.
Dude, as good as that looks, right? This is probably half speed at best. Running real aggressive into those cuts, and then that break, just kind of testing your legs a little bit. But This is maybe half.
You don't see a chop down or anything, Tim. Obviously, it's one rep, but he probably could have done it. But comebacks or curls, nothing like that, where you're chopping down, putting a lot of stress on the front of the knee. Haven't seen a bunch of that, but also we saw him jump and twist, a couple weeks ago with a weighted ball. So.
Yeah. At the very least, we can say clearly he has not had any setbacks, right? He's not going to look like this at this point. If he had a setback.
I agree with that, Tim. To me, it's also there's that extra motivation of it. It's not like he signed a 4-year deal. He was in the second or third year of it. And now it's okay, let me just ease back into this, get ready for a contract year, and then go at it next year. This is something where he's playing for the big bucks this year. He really is. And if he goes out there, and let's say And again, guys, we're not guaranteeing this. Obviously, we're not a doctor here. We're not saying, oh yeah, he's definitely he's going to be back 1st of October or even October in general. Let's say
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Say he comes back in November, right? And if that's the case, let's say he gets 5 or 6 games in. He's going to be looking to go, hey, look, guys, I'm fully healthy, right? Throw me right back in where I was. And if he goes out there and he averages over 20 yards a catch like he did last year before he got hurt, give him some money. You know what I mean? Like, sign it. Because the other thing that really sticks out to me about Christian, and again, you got to prove that you're healthy. I get that. And they're going to be extra cautious with it too. But the addition of Matthew Golden, rookie contract, right? Jaden Reed, you got him for 2 more years, rookie contract. Dontavion Wicks, 2 more years, rookie contract. You've got the room there that you can afford. I'm not saying pay him $30 million per, but him coming off an ACL, if you notice it right off the bat, like, hey, this dude looks like he's good to go, you could probably get him for $15 million per. Like, I don't think that's unreasonable. You guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Like, I think in his specific situation too, he's looking at it like, man, any offer that I get, and I'm not saying he would just take bottom dollar. Obviously, I'm not even saying to offer that. I'm saying pay him what you think is realistic. And that's why I think it could be a 1-year kind of patch deal there. Like, hey, let's give him a 1-year deal, some guaranteed money, make it worth it. Kind of a prove it deal like we did with Jordan Love coming out of that awkward spot where we didn't really know what we had in Jordan. And I still am of the opinion that Jordan did the team a favor by signing that deal. He could have held their feet to the fire and like, nope, I'm going to test free agency. He could have done that, So I think with Christian, I hope he proves it and he does it in enough time. Like if he does come back in mid-October, proves he's healthy and gets back to where he's 3/4 of what he was from a statistical standpoint, and the Packers just treat it like, you know what, let's do the same thing we did with Gary. He's proven he's healthy. Let's give him some money here. Let's give him a 4-year deal, 3-year deal, whatever it may be. So,
yep.
As Chris said here, I understand this standpoint too. I need that 1-year deal, y'all. I get that. That's kind of like, I think that's probably the way that Goody would approach it if he proves he's healthy, just to kind of cover, because we know Goody is a little. Am I wrong there? Does it kind of feel like Goody's a little conservative in this regard? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, justifiably so, right? I mean, you call it what you want. I mean, he's coming off injury, right? Let's be real. I don't think Scoot would take a 1-year deal.
No,
maybe I think he's looking for a 3-year or something.
What about a 3-year with like one full year guaranteed? All right, you know that you're going to get that, but can we work on the rest with incentives, or just being able to play in the games and get you back up? But we'll rework it at the end of 2. Going into 3 if you really ball out the next 2 years. So I think that's a possibility. And from Doc in the chat, Holmes MD1, this is fairly remarkable work given the injury timeline, in my opinion.
There you
Thank
go.
you, man. And daily deposits, look at the little text right there. Obviously, man's out there working every single day. It's not like he's taking it off. That's what Jordan was saying in his interview in the locker room there a week or 2 ago. It was just like, yeah, Christian Watson, he's out there working every single day. Like, that man just doesn't quit.
Like, if anything, you're worried about a guy like Scoot maybe overdoing it, right? You want to keep an eye on him and say, all right, cool, keep putting in the work, but, don't overdo it and set yourself back. But so far, so good, man. Looks good.
Yeah, so like when we were kind of talking about that just a second ago with Christian's kind of perspective on the potential deal, you said, you probably wouldn't take a 1-year deal, right? Put yourself in his shoes. You're coming off that ACL, right? The market is probably going to be a little bit hesitant if you don't get to prove, hey, I'm fully healthy, okay? So let's say he does come back November 1, and the Packers are trying to ease him back into that role, and they offer him a 1-year deal with a significant amount of guaranteed money. Would you not be enticed to take it, or are you saying, nope, let's go for the 3 to 4 year deal? Because I guess I'm just basing it off. God, AFM's mom's back in the chat. I'm kind of basing it off of what Jordan Love did. And I think it, again, I don't mean to keep taking it back to Jordan, but it just shows you how much, I don't know what the right word is here, the quality person that Jordan is, that he would be willing to go, you know what, yeah, I'll take a 1-year prove it deal and prove to you guys I'm the real deal. And then even Goody, you guys remember, Goody was like trying to play hardball the next year, and that's where he's like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a hold in here. and get his money, obviously. So I don't know, man. I can see both sides. I can understand if he wants a multi-year deal, but I could also see it being something like, let me get a little bit of guaranteed money, prove it to him. I want to be in Green Bay, that type of thing. And obviously, congratulations to Christian. I think his wife's name is Lakin, I believe, as they've got a baby on the way as well. Really, really cool. Could be a huge year for the Watson family.
Absolutely.
Dan Mullen with the super chat said, it would be crazy seeing them give Watson a multi-year deal after biting the bullet on Jair's release. It'll probably happen, though, if he balls out. I think he summed it up perfect there, Dan. It's like, this could go in either direction, because we've seen him give the money to Gary right after the ACL as soon as he proved he was healthy. But then we've seen him kind of hesitant with Jordan, even though it wasn't an injury-related thing. It was more of a prove-it type thing, which I think at the end of the day is very similar situation. Jacob joining us now. What do you think about this, Jacob? We're just watching this video here of Watson. To me, he looks like he's ahead of schedule. And I know there's some Twitter doctors out there that kind of disagree. They're like, oh no, I think he's right on schedule. This is, to me, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect him cutting on it. And granted, they're not hard.
Best guy around.
And thank you for the super chat, Dan. Go ahead, Jacob.
No, I mean, it's definitely encouraging, to say the least, to see where he's at this point. I mean, I was amazed just about a week ago watching him do those like overhead medicine ball throws, thinking like, hey, he shouldn't be squatting like that. He shouldn't be jumping around like that, stretching like that. Now to see him progress to this point, like you said, not hard cuts, but them some cuts. I will say that's like Emilio on the mower right there. Them some cuts.
Oh, you've seen the zigzag picture. It's in the Patreon group. That's basically what I did right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's AI, but whatever. Yeah.
That ain't AI.
Definitely doesn't look like tentative, right? He doesn't
No.
look like he's trying not to hurt himself or anything.
No.
He seems to be running with some fluidity pretty early here.
I mean, he's ran the route 100 times at this point. The dude's ready to go. I mean,
Drew D with the super chat. Thank you, Drew. He says, whether we sign Watson or not, might have to do it with guys like Wicks step up or not. Yeah, if Wicks steps up, what that gives me is a little bit of hope for him to play boundary X. I think that's what he's best suited for. But obviously, with the drop issue, that makes it a huge issue, because he would be taking over for Romeo Doubs next year. If Romeo Doubs is on the roster and they don't trade him, what I see is Romeo Doubs in the X. I see Matthew Golden in the Z and the moving Z. And I see Jaden Reed in the F or the slot, as most people know it. So that's kind of the starting three that I see. And then you would have Wicks rotating into the boundary X for Rome to spell him, as well as the slot. Bo Melton played a lot of F last year when Jaden Reed came off the field when he was a little banged up. Then you got Savion Williams, who some people think he could play X. I don't know if I feel that comfortable with him playing X. I think we would use him a little more in the Z or the F, so he can move around and do some of those jet sweeps and things like that as well, kind of like what Jaden Reed does. But if Jaden Reed can play Z and Savion comes out in camp and he's kind of on fire and proves that he's an NFL caliber player, then kick him into the slot, and then you're rotating Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden in and out of the Z. And some people think Matthew Golden can play X. So what it comes down to is Goody's drafted some pretty versatile players. Like, you've got a handful of players that can play pretty much all three positions, and that's absolutely key to Matt LaFleur and how he wants to plug and play these players. Because
His receiving is tough.
he's always said you can't play F in his offense if you don't understand the choice routes. It's just impossible. And what that means is, like, think about it. When you're in the F and you're lined up in the slot, right, and they cheat motion you over to the left to a 2x2 set, you've got to understand the choice responsibilities and the choice route of you being in the number 2 on the opposite side. Or they may even cheat you over to where you cheat to the 1 in kind of like a stack look. We've seen that a lot of times at the boundary as well. So that's the thing that's going to slow someone like Savion down. But like our boy Drew D just said, and thank you for that super chat, Drew. Appreciate you, buddy. If Wicks can step up and take a little bit of that burden off of Dobbs there in terms of just being the X. I said this 2 years ago. Tim, do you remember? And Jacob, I'm sure you remembered as well. We'd be watching tape, and I'd be like, have y'all noticed that they're asking Romeo Dobbs to run go route after go route after go route? I was like, that dude's underappreciated. because he's just stretching the field constantly stretching the field. And I know some people roll their eyes at that, but think about having to run a go route, 5 times, 6 times on one drive.
Yeah.
I walk my garbage cans down to the damn curb and I'm out of breath.
You know what nobody ever talks about is you got to run back. So you're running the 9 up the seam, and then you got to jog back to the huddle, or sometimes sprint back to the huddle.
Right.
And then you're being asked to run another go ball. I mean, yeah, I see it, man. It's tough.
And it's just, not to mention the blocking, right?
Yep.
We run an outside stretch play, a little outside zone, and you got to put your hands in the chest plate and get in there and get dirty and dig a safety out. Like it's, I don't know, man.
No block, no rock.
AFAM's mom evidently been in trouble here lately. She said, I only run go routes when the police are behind me. So there you go. Appreciate that. You heard it from a fan right here. Anything else on Christian Watson here, guys? I thought this was cool, man. I got really excited when I seen this come down the pipe.
Scoot's definitely got better hair than AFAM's mom, for sure.
Ooh, that's
Just an observation.
Yeah, I think about 99% of today's population has better hair than AFAM's mom. Is AFAM in the chat tonight? I feel bad us taking shots at him if he's not in here. You got to talk crap to somebody's face. You can't do it behind their back. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I haven't seen him yet.